Hi, and welcome to Wrong Way. And today we are going to unbox the Begode Ex.N. So, let me tell you more about it. Wrong Way. And of course, big thanks to monowheels.com for providing me this wheel for testing purposes. And if you want to buy a wheel in Europe, head on over to monowheels.com, and there you can also use a coupon code called Wrong Way for receiving a 5% discount. I also do receive a kickback from that. And also this week, this will be the last unboxing, I promise. We had 3 unboxings in a row, so next video is going to be something different. And yeah, I'm really just excited for this one. We already covered the Begode EX before, which is a very similar electric unicycle to this one. Just the EX has suspension, and this one is sort of like a bigger MSP or RS. Actually, this electric unicycle does have the motor from the RS. And I'm actually really excited for this one, as I really liked the EX, apart from the fact where it cut off on stairs on me. And you know, there's something about Begode wheels when it comes to performance that is just Begode. You can't get it anywhere else. But of course, there has been issues with quality control. Well, now we have a certificate of compliance. Nice. On Begode wheels, and you know, this is maybe some level of concern. There has been already a couple of issues with Begode wheels, but in grand scheme of things, it is still a very little percentage. You know, I have a Guads MSX, Guads Tesla V2, this is Jacek's Nikola Plus, and most of the wheels, like 99% or even more than 99%, are fine, but still, it's important that these wheels are absolutely safe and that Begode improves their quality control and overall quality of wheels. And this should be a perfect example for this. And we'll also open this wheel up right away, especially the motherboard area, to see the new fuse and to see the motherboard cover on this wheel. Now the instruction manual has, you know, all of the Begode models and all of the specs. And now I think there's more. More specs, I guess. So still in the user's manual, there is not really a user's manual. I guess there's only this small bit on safety instruction, and the rest is basically left to yourself. Not a good improvement if you ask me. We get a charger, very classic, 3 amps Begode charger, but we also have a 5 amp charger here, and I also have a 8 amp charger, but I still have to check if you can charge the Ex.N with 8 amps. And here it is. Oh, all right. Monster Pro pedals, and there's also power pads for this wheel. I think they should be mounted like this, but I will mount them like this, or even put my Sai Pads on it. Probably this will be the better choice. By the way, there's also a coupon code on the Sai Pads. If you want them, then check link in description. Let's first turn it on, and it should be in transportation mode. And it is in transportation mode. To turn on transportation mode, you have to hold the lift switch and press on the button 5 times. So now it should be fairly operational. And in fact it is. Oh, it feels way smaller than the EX. Ooh, it feels like a beefy MSX. I mean, I like a beefy RS. Yeah, I'm liking that. Okay, so trolley handle here on the side, still without any button. Guess it's not the best trolley handle. I guess this is not the best trolley handle design. Hopefully water won't seep in through the holes here like it does sometimes on the MSXs if the handle is a bit lifted. No button here, so it goes in by itself. Guess big Begode never really had many good trolley handles. None of them are locking, so yeah, that's that. It's at least in a good position in the middle. I guess for going in a store, this would be doable. Not the most comfortable, but doable. Essentially, Begode is doing this to you. There is also a lift switch, which is working. Here you can see on the front there is a power button, and these power buttons sometimes tend to seep water through. That's why I have it taped up here on the MSX. So probably that's also what I'll do here. And there's also the charge port cover. Like once it's closed, it's fine, but there is no water drainage here, and potentially if it's raining and there's water like here on the top or around, water can seep in through here. But actually it's a bit lifted now, so maybe it'll be good, maybe not. I think it should, the charge port placement or the cover should be different, maybe on the back like on the Sherman. And as you can see, it's pretty interesting because this port is pretty much inside of the plastic, and here on the MSX, if you take a closer look, usually the port has also here some material to screw it in. So this is not available here. On the Ex.N, I think this charge port should be higher up, not that much recessed into the body. Anyways, in the front we can see a daytime running light, and the light in the front is pretty mediocre. It does brighten up a bit, but I don't know if it's any brighter than a Nikola. We're just so used to Guads having twin lights in the front, having good lighting. This is probably not the best, but yeah, that's that. No RGB on the sides, no RGB on the front and the back. Here the plastic is actually popped out. See? Here. I don't know if it's... I mean, it definitely shouldn't be like this. Maybe it's due to transport, but essentially now water could really easily go in through here. I don't know if I can just put it in somehow. I will have to take a closer look at that. That doesn't look good. Other than that, it has speakers on the inside, very similar quality to the Begode EX. Footplates are just a bit angled, like on the RS, but you know, this we will wait for the full review. Really liking this tire. If it's well aligned, then it's even better. It's a 20-inch EUC. Motor is 2.5 or 2.6 even kilowatts. It's the same motor as on the RS, but just a lot more power reserve, as it has a bigger battery, 2,700 watt hours, 100 volt. And yeah, that's that. Let's do maybe just a free spin test, and then we can open it up. "98 kilometers an hour. I think they should have done it a bit faster in some software update, as far as I know. But that's what we have here. 6 kilometers an hour slower than the veteran Sherman. So with that said, let's also weigh it. 32.6 kilograms. A bit lighter than a Sherman. And for the price that it goes at my e-wheel is just like 2,250 euro. This might be just a pretty strong competitor, especially that it's a simpler unicycle, doesn't have any suspension. It's just a bigger RS essentially. Don't like the quality on the top here. It's very, very flimsy. I'll still have to look into that. But now let's see about that fuse and that motherboard cover. We have to open up our service station, and the motherboard should be on the right side. Now we have to just remove additional hex screws here on the side. Oh, goes out very easily. Nice. On the EX we had to fight so hard for that. Let's get these out. Maybe it's just the glue here, very strong. Let's see. All right, here we go. Man. Yeah, I mean, here we have a bit of cable action. This is now the fuse. So the fuse is there now, which is pretty cool. It's also a matter of just disconnecting the battery here. Here we still have, I think, a hole underneath that. We have a bit of tape here for some reason. And these screws are just wooden screws that go into the plastic. So each time you open and close them up, it's not a good idea. Motherboard itself is very small actually.
Not that big.
Not that big. But we can also see that on the sides here, there is some rubber. Here is some rubber. Here is a hole. So yeah, just in case, man, if you're riding this, first of all, I wouldn't recommend riding this thing in the rain. Wouldn't do that. But if you do, for some reason, don't push it on the side once you're done with your ride, because then the water might climb into your wheel. I'm just very curious, like what is underneath here. So I can just peel it off a bit. It's not really that bad. So this is the heatsink for the motherboard. So this cools down the whole motherboard area. And this is just like a part, just a plastic part, preventing water from coming into like the lower sides of the shell. So that's that. Also here on the side, well, on the other side there is tape. Here is a small hole. And here they put tape to not let it out. So we'll have to put some more tape here on the side. I decided we have to open up this plastic part just for you guys, so you know where you're standing on. If you bought a EXN, you can still get these screws fairly easily back in. Now I'll just have to use more silicone to get this thing back in place. Okay, let's check what's underneath here. Goes out very easily, surprisingly easily. And yeah, just as I expected, there's a hole. And I think I don't have to mention anything to you guys about having a empty hole in an electric unicycle. As far as I can see, the bearings look protected now. I think there's like a plastic element here, so that looks better. But you know, guys, if you have an empty hole here, there's so much shit and gunk on your EUC if you go off-road. This is just a big no-no from my side. Like I know there's like not that much stuff close to the rim. Usually this part is pretty clean, but not having any sort of mesh, any sort of like metal plate, anything in there is really not a good idea. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna put some tape here for the moment now. I will just monitor also the temperatures here on this EUC. That's not how you should make cooling for your EUC. Now you can see that the cables are very thick, and this is also the benefit of having this hollow motor design, more power, etc., etc. But if this thing falls on the side, very high chance it will just short the motherboard, or anything else pretty bad might happen. Now, to not say that it's all bad things, basically around the hole it's pretty hard for water to get out. Like, here is the tape. Here I put the additional silicone because I had to redo that. And here on the sides, basically, they also put the additional rubber pieces here in the front to not let any air out. But I believe through this small ventilator here, water could potentially go up, and then it's right against the MOSFETs. Potentially also could get out on the side. It's been just one ride and I can already see some dust here building up. I wonder where that's coming from. There's dust building up everywhere. a screw hole, and there is no screw inside. So yeah, I can talk just a bit more here on the inside. I'll seal this with a silicone later on. Like, that's the difference to the Sherman you have here. You pay more, but I think you get more. Like, the same story applies for the batteries. Like, here you have just a small bit of plastic protecting you. If this shorts, not good. There's a bit of like reinforced plastic here, but on the Sherman you have two really big like rods on both sides, like roll cage, which protects it, and the plastic is also thicker. So yeah, I guess that's that. I'm really sad this hole is still there, even though we talked about it a lot and they are saying that they improve it. But I wouldn't say it's a wheel designed for rain. I even think that you have to just always be a little bit more careful with the EXN if you were to buy one. And maybe not to focus on all the negatives. A good thing is that the beeper is here and it's actually beeping onto the outside of the wheel. So you should hear the beep at pretty much any speed if you have a good helmet. Here are the speakers. They're facing inwards. I think not the best solution, but it'll do. Probably they're really good, like the one on the X. Again, another good thing is that the motherboard is on the top, so that's good, because it's not on the bottom. Here you can see the small 5-volt motherboard. That's what actually broke on my EX here in the middle. And apparently just after opening the wheel up, one connector just fell loose. Or it wasn't even there. I don't know, man. Very close here on the motherboard. I don't want to... Yeah, it was here definitely. Yeah. So apparently I think it was just very close to the screw and it just ripped off the connector from the motherboard. So here you can see on the top, here was a silicone from this connector on the top of the motherboard. Here on the side you can see that there's actually a small seal, which is a great idea. If you would just not make a hole inside the whole inner shell of the EUC, that'd be great. So yeah, now you can think for yourself what you think of the EXN. But I think I've shown you everything that is needed for now in that unboxing. So if you're still here, leave a like on the video, subscribe to see more content like this. I'll see you in the next video. See you soon.